All
There we
right.
go. Okay.
All righty. Good morning, afternoon, whatever it is.
Right, all of that. What is good, everybody? It is your two favorite brides of Christ and family.
Amen. Yes.
And we are on the mic, the Godly Gangster Gang, Christian Gangster Street Ministries.
That's
You guys, yeah, that's it.
Yes.
Welcome to this limited edition series of Christian love. All right, y'all. With this whole thing, me and Akela, we were like, we should do something a little bit different and get love from the Christian perspective. And so this is one of the wonderful couples that we have the honor of being able to be family with. Deacon Deaconess McNeil, and so Kelly, you had anything you wanted to add real quick?
No, not really. Other than I'm just excited to get to know you guys more. Of course, we see you guys every Sunday, but it's nothing like actually having like a conversation about you guys' love and see how you guys came together and just get to know you more. So I'm just excited about that.
Okay.
We're
excited too.
Absolutely. For sure. I mean, so getting right into it, we want y'all to introduce yourselves. So start off, y'all can start with y'all names, where y'all from, all that.
Yeah.
All righty. I'm James O. McNeil Jr. from G-Town, originally from Belmont, and grew up in Gastonia and went to the military, came back, and been working at the hospital ever since I got back.
Okay.
And I'm Allie McNeil, and I grew up in Stanley, North Carolina, and then worked at the hospital when I grew up. And that's how I met James, because he worked there too.
Okay, so how long have y'all been married, and where did you guys meet? Did you guys meet at the hospital?
Yes.
Yes, but he used to bring patients up to my unit, so I knew him for a long time, even before I went down to the emergency room, and then we finally got together. But I'd known him, not personally, but I knew him for a long time.
Okay. And how long have you guys been together?
This February the 14th will be 17 years.
17 years.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking
about.
On
Valentine's Day.
Yeah, I had to do something that I would remember real easy.
True.
That's a smart move. That's smart.
Yes.
Smart.
And it's actually what my father did when he married my mom. He married my mom on her birthday.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
That's awesome.
That's a birthday gift, though. That's a dope birthday gift.
Yeah.
It is.
So getting right into it. So when you all got married, were you already saved when you got married, or was it kind of like
after? We were not saved.
Okay.
Knew of Jesus, but he probably didn't know. Well, he knew all about me, us. He knew because he knew what kind of lives we were living. So, but no, we were wilding out, as they say.
Hey, I understand that.
Sometimes. Right.
Okay. Since that's the case, when did you guys get saved? And did you guys get saved at the same time?
When we went back.
When we came back to Friendly Hill. Now, we went to Friendly Hill before because I grew up in the church. And the pastor before, Apostle Johnson, we left. Had to do some changing because of my marriage.
I see.
It was getting pretty scarce and tight, so we left, and then we heard about Apostle Johnson down at Friendly Hill, so we went down for a visit and been there ever since.
Oh wow!
Awesome. When the Lord wants you to come on back, He'll make
yes,
you
stay.
Yes.
Wow. But that's cool though, because it seems like it was like prime time for y'all though. So it worked out perfect.
Okay. Which is good, because I think some people think that all Christian couples or all godly couples were saved before they got married, and that's not always the case. So you guys are actually able to learn and you know, basically grow up with one another in the spiritual realm, so to say. So yeah, okay. So what would you guys say was the difference between this relationship versus your past relationships that helped to make it work?
This time I have a godly man who
that's
is willing to lead me and to encourage me and to love me. That's what I have this time. Just that I know that I can follow him and that he's leading me in the right path as he follows Apostle Johnson, who is following the Lord. So I just know that I have a godly man.
That's awesome.
Absolutely. That's what I'm talking about.
And for me, I guess, and for me, it would be that I have a woman that would be submissive. As I got myself in line, it just kind of felt in line real easy.
Yeah.
Got you.
That makes sense.
And I think that's something. That me and Kayla are starting to realize more is about the whole submission factor and how much easier it makes things, not just for whomever our husband is going to be, but also for the Lord and us pleasing the Lord and being submissive. And so there is a power to it, but a lot of women they're not willing to acknowledge it. At least I can speak for young people; they're not willing to acknowledge it. So yeah, for sure.
Absolutely. So with that being said, though, did your expectations change once you guys got in line with God? So to say, like, did your expectations change for one another, or was it always the same?
We changed.
We definitely changed. We grew together. Now, when we first got together, I had a little bill management problem. So I put her in charge of finances. And whatever she said, I did. And because of that and getting right with the Lord, he raised my credit score about 300-400 points.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So in doing that, I'm gonna make this known. She makes more money than I do too. But because I allowed the Lord to come into my life and accepted him, she lets me make the decisions on the money.
He does.
I got you.
Yes, it works out really well.
It works out very well.
Well, that's good at least.
That's awesome, though.
Yeah, I was about to ask, was there a challenge in that transition?
I don't think there was.
No, because now, like Apostle has said, before we got married, well, right after we got married, we have a single account. So, and then we first had separate savings accounts, but as she retired, we just put it all into one savings account. And then I do have a little baby savings account that she is point of care over.
I understand that.
So if something does happen, it goes to her anyhow.
That makes sense.
Got you.
Well, he keeps it. You never know.
Right.
Yeah.
In that being said, were there certain reservations that y'all had, like when you first met and like going into your marriage or going right before like getting married? Were there certain reservations that you had at first?
Oh, probably more for me, because it was an interracial marriage, and my mother and stepdad was not even considering James as could possibly be my husband. So that made it difficult, but you got to realize they were older and that was the way they were raised.
Right.
That's true.
My children did fine with it. But that was a difficult part of it right there.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
And for you,
makes a lot of sense though.
For me, as soon as I saw her, I was hooked.
Hey.
I was hooked.
I feel you on
Duke said,
that.
nah, that's my baby right there. That's what Duke said. He said
I
he
was
seen that
gone.
heaven
I
on
was
baby
gone from the
right
beginning.
there.
Hey, that's a
Well,
good way to be.
so what she just said, she said, tell him about me being Indian. When I started telling my family about her, they asked because I had dated white women before. They asked, is she white? I said, no, she's mostly Indian. Because well, she does have Indian in her family, but that's what I told them. I told them, yeah, she's Indian. She's not all white.
They were very accepting of me, and his mother was very accepting, even though she had passed away before we got married, just a few months before. But she was very accepting, and so that made a big difference right there.
That's a good thing. I was going to ask though, what are some of the other challenges you guys had being a interracial couple slash godly, well, being in a godly marriage? Like, did the race portion cause any type of challenges along the way?
I think more for her than me because with her coming to a predominantly Black church, coming from a all white church, it was a challenge because, as you know, we worship different. We worship different, and I tell y'all to stand up there and to look down and see her with raised hands and to hear her soft little voice singing, because I can hear it. To hear her say hallelujah,
yeah.
Just to hear her say it gives me chills. It makes me a very happy man, and that I'm pleased that God would allow her to be in my life.
That's real.
So I learned how to worship. That's
my.
I learned how to worship because everything at my church was just, you were very quiet. You listened to the pastor, you listened to the singing, and then you went home. So I've learned how to worship, and that is so amazing to me.
Yeah, that's real.
Absolutely.
Worship do open up another side of you, that's for sure.
Yes,
it does. So the next question we wanted to ask is, did y'all have any godly or any examples of like godly relationships and godly marriages?
Oh yeah.
Oh yes. My parents were married. Of course, they conceived me out of wedlock, but they were married before I was born. So, but they were married until she passed away in 2003. So I knew about, the strong bonds of marriage and going through some things. I mean, because I didn't have to see a whole lot of trouble between my mom and dad. If there was trouble, the kids didn't see it. So
I got you.
I mean, with him being a deacon and she being a deaconess, and she was a bootleg preacher, And with that being said, she was one that kept us in church because my daddy was a truck driver. So there'd be times he'd be gone for a week at a time, and then that's where I fell up under the strong women in church. So being that, it kept me humble. I didn't get too proud. I mean, sometimes I think I get proud, but he corrects me real quick.
That's right.
And
what about you, Auntie?
When we were talking about generations in Sunday school, I look back and I can go all the way back to my great grandmother, and her parents, and then she was married. She had 12 children, and then her husband died, and then my grandparents, my grandmother was one of 12, and she had 4 children. And then my mother was married to my father till he died. She was a church secretary, retired when I was probably in my 40s. So she was a church secretary for 30 years. So when I say I grew up in church, yes, I did.
Mm-hmm.
I had helped make up the baby beds and everything. Just helped her as the secretary. And
yeah, that's good.
I was actually saved at age 9 and was baptized at that time. So I feel like more that I've rededicated my life when we came back to Finley Hill, that I'd rededicated my life.
That's good.
Gotcha.
Plus being saved at the same time, but we both were, I'm saying, rededicated when we came back.
Yeah. Because I was saved and baptized at age 8.
Mm-hmm.
And I know y'all know where Walmart is from the church.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if you look over to the right as you cross over that bridge, that's where I was baptized.
That's why I started laughing, because I'm like, I know he's talking about that little pond right there.
Yeah. So before that big bridge, that's where I was baptized.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
At 8 years old, so.
Okay. And
that's real though. That's history right there.
Yeah. Were you guys able to take some of the things you guys learned from those marriages and apply it to your own marriage, or did you guys find that you had to make up your own, not make up, but kind of like find your way through everything?
That's good.
Well, we found our way, but we had that to fall back on. We truly did. Because I don't remember my mother ever, she didn't talk about people. She didn't argue with my father. I guess if there was anything she needed to discuss, she would discuss it with my grandmother, because she would have lunch with her every day. But I don't remember being a lot of fussing between my parents. Yeah. Now my sister was another thing there. She loved her. But my parents, I don't remember hearing them fuss. And she had the blessing of being able to have a second marriage. His wife had passed away. He was a deacon at the church, and she was blessed with the second marriage. So, yeah. So my mom's been, I say, blessed.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That is a blessing. Mm-hmm. The next question that we had was, were you in ministry when you were married? But I'm assuming that's going to be no, right?
When we were first married, no.
Okay.
Gotcha.
So when did you guys cross over into ministry during your marriage?
I do believe, when we were at church before, I was in church, but I wasn't saved. So I was in church, but I was in the world. So I wouldn't consider it that we were really good in ministry, because we were still worldly. So we were kind of riding the fence on that banana peel, you know what I mean?
Right.
And actually we wasn't even riding on a banana peel. We were way off. This is the way it was. We were about to bust hell wide open. And I have to say, I was about to bust hell wide open. Because I was worldly in the church. And those two don't mix. That's just like the word says, if you are lukewarm, he'll spew you out his mouth. So at that time, I was being spewed out. Yeah.
That's real though. That's real.
Yeah.
So I mean, in that, like now, like after you all being married here and now for, you said 14 years, why not say 14 years?
17.
No,
17. I'm sorry. Right. 17 years.
On the 14th.
So y'all not being married. There you go. So with y'all now being married for 17 years now, is marriage what you expected it to be?
It's better.
It's more. It's more than I expected.
Yeah, it's wonderful.
Gotcha.
As we age and we get to know more and more of each other, because you continue to learn each other. I couldn't be happier.
Oh, y'all make me want to cry, because y'all just so cute.
Y'all so sweet. Y'all for real though. Y'all so sweet together. It's amazing. It's amazing. With that being said, we want to dive in a little bit about your family. Like, we know you guys are a blended family, and so how has being married and blending that family together been? How has it been?
I will say it was probably, the kids loved him, but it was still difficult because they would come to me wanting money. And that was hard for him, who never had children, to understand or even want to do. So as a mother, I wanted to take care of my children. So that made it hard at first for us to do that. So we dealt with that. I had to cut the apron strings. You know, Apostle Johnson is really good at helping us to understand how to cut those apron strings.
Oh, yes.
So they're standing on their own 2 feet now. One is in church, or if the church was open, they would be in church. But one is rededicated her life and is just loving the Lord. And the other one is still needs to rededicate her life or be saved. So, but as far as, it would have been great if we had been able to have a child, but I was a little old. But he has a lot of nieces and nephews that make up the difference.
Oh, yes.
So we've been blessed with family on both sides with that. So, but the girls love him. They love him, and they respect him being a godly man. When we get together for family dinners, it's normally James that will ask the blessing, and they respect him. So I'm very happy with that. So,
which is a good thing, because not all of the time it is that easy. Especially with children, sometimes they can be rebellious. So it's a good thing that they do respect you in that way, because I know it makes the marriage and also the family dynamic a lot easier.
Oh, yes.
That's good. That's good.
Of course, they're grown too.
Yeah, because they were grown when we married too. So
yeah,
true.
That's true.
To get that respect as fast as I did, I was truly thankful.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
With that being said, how old were you guys? How old were you guys when y'all got married?
So, 17 years ago. I'm 59, so 17 years ago.
I'm 66.
Do my math. I'd have to pull out my calculator.
Yeah, we were much older. I had been married for 29 years before.
Wow, I didn't know it was that long. That's a long time.
Yep, I was married for 13 years before. My first marriage was 13 years, but 7 of them I was separated.
Okay.
Gotcha.
I had no idea you was married before.
I ain't know either.
I had no idea. So that's news to me. Okay.
Yeah.
Which is wow. But it's good because you guys were not, well, technically not scared or let that fear keep you guys from getting married, because a lot of times people are married first, then they're like, no, I'll never get married again. So y'all didn't let that keep y'all.
Well, I said that. I did say that. I said that because I was probably divorced maybe about 5 years when we met, or when we got together. Because like she said, I used to see her when I took patients upstairs too.
Right.
And being that little sweet man I am,
Oh, you was
I reeled her in.
That's what you did. You being smooth.
Yes, ma'am. I was being sneaky, is what I was.
Oh, dang.
I feel you on that.
Well, I don't guess I was.
I don't think he was sneaky.
She don't think I was sneaky.
No, because I was married at that time. I didn't get divorced till I did come down to the emergency room. That's when I got divorced. But I just thought he was just friendly and nice. Yeah, he was always helpful with the patients. So that was that to me as a nurse. That was wonderful to even
right.
And I guess the part I say that I was sneaky because I was also in the military before, so I used to iron my clothes every night before I went to work.
He was crazy.
Right.
So I was always sharp. That's where my daddy taught me. In the military, even helped it more. So I always iron my clothes, and that's what I meant. I reeled her in with that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sharp.
He was using the starch.
That first appearance gets that.
Hey, I feel you on that.
That's amazing though. That I think more than anything though, sometimes like how do they put it? They say you never know up till you've been down. So
True.
y'all both knew what down looked like as far as like how things could go bad. But now y'all are in a situation where it's like, okay, we're on top of the world because we're doing this with Jesus at the same time.
Yes.
So hey, it's still a blessing at the end of the day.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
That's true. That's true.
So now at this point, with everything that you know, is there anything that you would have done different?
Well, with the teaching that Apostle has,
Yes.
if I had known that when I was the first time I was married, I would have stayed in that marriage, because that's what he tells, what the Lord expects us to do. But I'm so grateful that I have James now, that, and even in looking back in that, I'm just glad that the Lord can forgive us.
Oh,
that
yes.
Jesus,
Come on,
that we're forgiven
Mm-hmm.
when we ask for forgiveness for doing that. So I'm just feel like I'm so blessed in this marriage.
Yes.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I could definitely understand where you're coming from there. Because I mean, it's definitely real. Like once you know, but then it's like, okay, well, I'm here.
Yeah.
And this looks like it's ordained by you. So forgive me for my past, but hey, we here now, Jesus.
That's
so
it.
You have to ask for forgiveness. Yes.
You can't have a present if you don't have a past. So
that's true. That's true.
That's a word.
That is true.
That's a whole word right there.
Yes.
Considering your journey together, what advice would you give young people today?
To pray and be absolutely sure that this is what you're going to do for the rest of your life, because it should be, as in the Bible, for the rest of your life, to honor, to obey, sickness and health.
Richer for poor.
Absolutely. Just
true love.
Yes, that this is going to be what you do for the rest of your life, that you won't be one that'll consider divorce, because I always thought that was not going to be me, and then it happened. But to be absolutely sure, don't rush.
And I would firstly say, have a pastor you can do some consultation with, get to know each other before you say I do, before you even touch each other. You need to know that person, because you need to know about that person, because you need to know about their history. Because if you plan to have children, you need to know what kind of things, have come from their family history. So that's very important. Get to know your mate. Be betrothed, as the word says.
That's it.
Right.
Come on, betrothed.
Yes.
Yeah.
The longer the better, because the longer you're betrothed, the more you can learn about each other.
That's true.
I do have one other question along with that. In that process of like for you all, like when going through getting married and all of that, like did you all do any type of like courting, any type of magnitude, like based on what you already knew concerning like being in church, like prior to? Did y'all do any type of courting there?
That you got to remember, we were not in the Lord's will at that time.
I got you. Yeah. I got you.
Yeah.
So when it comes to that point,
But now that we have had all the teaching from Apostle Johnson,
oh man,
yes, we would have done things totally differently. Yeah.
Gotcha.
If we just had that teaching at that time. Yes.
Gotcha.
That's important to understand that.
This is my thing with that too, is the Lord knew what we could handle, and that's why it happened when it happened.
Yeah.
That's good. That's good. I can understand that.
Because I believe if we'd have got teaching from Apostle at an earlier time, I might have rebelled. Because see, he's younger than I am, but I was like, what's this younger man know? He don't know nothing yet.
True.
So I just thank the Lord that he placed that humble spirit on me.
That's real.
So
that's real.
That really helps out with the whole thing, being humble.
Got you.
That's good. Wow. Y'all really have blessed me for real, for real.
Look, me as well. I definitely thank y'all so much, and just y'all being how y'all are, we're able to see this example every week. Whether it's 2 times a week, 3 times a week, however it goes, we're able to see y'all and how y'all interact with each other in the church, but also just y'all being yourselves. And so I'm very thankful to be able to have y'all in my life. Even though I call y'all uncle and auntie, I do appreciate y'all, and I love y'all so much, and thank y'all.
I love you too.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I appreciate it. Before we end it though, did y'all have any questions for us in any magnitude? Did y'all have any questions?
Oh, that's a good question. I never thought.
Thank you for your book, for the planting of seed. And I'm praying that seed is going to continue to blossom.
Oh, yes.
Absolutely.
Amen.
So thank you for your book. Yes. And Miss J, your hugs are amazing. I appreciate you. You always give me a hug. You always show me love. You both do. And I appreciate y'all so much. I love y'all so much. And just doing this in the Lord's name, and the seeds will grow.
And I'm waiting to hear you lead that song too.
Yes, sir. We will do what thus saith the Lord.
Yes, thus says the Lord. Here you go.
Definitely. Definitely.
But when he allows you, be bold about it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Definitely.
Be bold.
Yes, sir. I got you.
No shit.
Yep.
Awesome. Well,
but I think that's pretty much it.
All right.
That's really everything. Thank y'all so much for tuning in for this lovely video. Again, this is Deacon McNeil and Auntie Mama Eileen. Please make sure y'all share this with people, because we're coming with more episodes with more couples that we consider family. But also along with this, bless somebody else with this, especially if this is something that you're considering going into as far as marriage at some point in time, or if you already are married. This may be able to help you and bless you as well. So yeah, thank y'all so much for tuning in. We love y'all. We appreciate y'all. Y'all please be blessed. Kelly, you got anything else you wanted to say?
Yeah, I do. Just you guys just keep in mind as you guys listen to the stories that we are letting come out. Just remember, not every marriage is the same. Not every marriage comes, to the same point, but you can still end up with a godly marriage with a godly man and a godly woman. So just make sure you guys don't have a cookie cutter idea of what marriage looks like, and just take it in and just see it. But it's about the end, really, and not the beginning. So we appreciate you guys. Y'all be blessed, and we'll see y'all next time.
All right.
Absolutely.